Thanks, Deborah, for that nice introduction. I'd like to also acknowledge the traditional owners on the land on which we gather here today, elders both past and present. And I'd also like to acknowledge the Brisbane Broncos as well. They're my favourite team and they're in the grand final this weekend, so it's a very exciting time of the year. And to all of the people that are here, I'd like to acknowledge Professor Deborah Terry. That was a fantastic opening speech. And the way that universities are now actually working together, not in their own space, to do this type of work that we know on Australia Battery Day, how important that is. And also we've got today Professor Roy Green, the chair of the ARM Hub, with us here today, who is also playing a big part as part of one of our government-owned entities that is supporting advanced manufacturing here in Queensland. And a big welcome to everyone that's here today. It's another fantastic crowd. I remember being here last year at the inaugural opening of one of these events, and it was great to see so many people then, and it's great to see so many people here that are here today. Queensland certainly is already at the forefront of becoming the battery and renewables, hydrogen and clean energy manufacturing superpower, not only here in Queensland but around the world. And we're certainly on track to exceed our 80% renewable energy target by 2035 in Queensland alone. As you heard from the Professor, the Queensland Energy and Jobs Plan certainly builds on our huge investment to date and positions us here in Queensland to have a thriving clean energy economy. Transitioning to renewables has certainly in Queensland increased the demand for energy storage capability in and around Queensland, certainly Australia's gateway for battery innovation, not only, as I said, here in Queensland, but through all the other states and territories that are trying to help commercialise batteries in Australia. So commercialising innovative technology that certainly leverages our mining and manufacturing expertise is certainly key to bringing forward a pipeline of battery investment here that provides opportunities for business. And we're just in the middle of Manufacturing Month here in Queensland, and some of the manufacturers and certainly some of the leaders in the batteries technology space have certainly making the most of the opportunity of celebrating our manufacturers here in Queensland. And it's been great to get out and about in Queensland. We've gone from Townsville right through down to the Gold Coast, and as part of that journey we're certainly talking everything that's involved with the new innovations moving forward, particularly in renewables, but most importantly here today, people talking about battery storage. So we're certainly working very closely here with industry to understand Queensland's existing capabilities that we have, but also to identify priorities of us here for Queensland for the battery industry strategy that we've developed in Queensland. And last year, for those that were here at this event, I talked about the brightest minds in science being locked into a race to respond to that demand here in Queensland by developing battery storage units that could hold ever greater amounts of energy in a lot smaller containers. So since then, 12 months ago, Queensland has certainly entered into that race in a big way, with several initiatives right on the cutting edge of the emerging energy storage sector here in Australia. So our first major initiative is, those that might have heard of it up in Townsville, is the Lansdowne Eco-Industrial Precinct in Townsville, a joint project in partnership not only with the Queensland Government and the Townsville City Council, but the Australian Government as well. This precinct will certainly mean that and I've been saying this for a long time, we can't keep digging up these minerals and sending them on ships and sending them overseas. But what we can do is add to the value chain here and process that product right here in Queensland. So with 6 companies already signed up to operate in the Lansdowne precinct, it's absolutely fantastic to see that on the back of our Energy and Jobs Plan and the back of the copper string power that's going to be running out to those Northern Minerals precinct, we want to dig it up and we want to use it here in Queensland. I think it's critical that we do that. And I was just talking before we came in, it's one of those things that for too long Queensland has done the right thing and got the minerals out of the ground, but we haven't actually developed what we're doing with those minerals here in Queensland. I come from Gladstone. A big shout out for those people that are Gladstone from here. I see Alpha HPA with us here today. We have 2 alumina refineries and a smelter in Gladstone, and there's not one company in Gladstone that was ever built on the back of that to develop anything to do with aluminium. There's no forging companies, there's no smelting of those materials to get it to a product. These are the things that we should be doing. We dig it up here, we should make it here. Another saying I've got, and you'll probably hear this a lot more moving forward, if we can do it, we should do it here in Queensland. So in addition, the Palaszczuk government has certainly embarked on the iron flow battery pilot program. So Stanmore Power Station in central Queensland has signed a memorandum of understanding with energy storage industries, Asia Pacific, to establish an iron flow battery pilot plant and project next to the Stanmore Power Station. So the project will certainly test the viability of iron flow batteries for medium duration energy storage and certainly confirm the viability of deploying the technology at scale. So if successful, these batteries could support the electricity network during periods of high demand. And last month, the Palaszczuk government here in Queensland invested $24 million in 2 iron and zinc bromine flow battery projects in this state. So this investment in flow batteries from local manufacturers will support the next stage of Queensland's local battery capability, meaning more jobs right across regional Queensland. And I think it's really important to acknowledge part of the Energy and Jobs Plan that we've announced, and it's a $62 billion plan, is that about 95% of that investment will be in regional Queensland. So it's not all about the cities in this part of this plan. This is about regional Queensland, and the development of these new industries and renewables and batteries will be being delivered in regional Queensland. And finally, the Palaszczuk government has allocated $75 million for common user infrastructure to support the development, extraction and production of those critical minerals. And I think it's really important that we as government continue to do that investment for those developments moving forward. The Queensland Resource Common User Facility will be located at Cleveland Bay Industrial Park in Townsville. The facility will be a hub to trial production processes for commercialisation, enabling those prospective miners to begin producing mineral samples at scale. And the Palaszczuk government certainly is committed to local development of batteries to create those jobs, and certainly a resilient energy storage sector. When you talk about innovation, it's really important to acknowledge that what used to take us 10 years to get new innovation moving forward is now taking us 12 months to do. So things are progressing very quickly, and as Professor said, we have come a long way in the last 12 months just in this battery storage industry here in Queensland, and some of the great minds getting together and starting to develop this critical industry moving forward. So as part of that, my department has two roles in this new landscape. Firstly, we provide direct investment to those manufacturers on the ground through our manufacturing hubs and our manufacturing Made in Queensland grants program. And on the ground, through both of those programs, helping support through those manufacturing hubs that we've set up here in Queensland, and there's 6 of those. We started in Cairns, Townsville, Mackay, Rockhampton, Gladstone, and also a manufacturing hub on the Gold Coast. We'll also now support in 2 other locations in Queensland on the ground, one in Toowoomba and one in the northern parts of the Brisbane area. So what they're doing is helping those manufacturers to make the most of these emerging renewable energy opportunities that are coming at us here in Queensland. And secondly, the department is playing a critical role in ensuring that water is available for emerging industries in a carefully managed and certainly a sustainable way. We must make sure that we balance the needs of existing water users alongside with the environment and industry to ensure that we unlock economic opportunities that are certainly sustainable into the future. And finally, it would be remiss of me not to mention again that this is Manufacturing Month in Queensland, and it's the first of any state and territory that has dedicated a month to manufacturing, which has been absolutely fantastic. And for those in the room that were at, the pinnacle of the month was at Parliament House on the Speaker's Green, where we had nearly 300 manufacturers in Queensland celebrating manufacturing at a showcase on the Speaker's Green, which was absolutely fantastic. And what it did highlight is that people, not only universities, but people and manufacturers and businesses, small and medium-sized businesses, are now working collaboratively together to come up with something that they can do as a partnership, not just trying to do it all on their own. So I visited some of the advanced manufacturers, including Link Group in Mackay. You might have seen on social media. If you haven't, get on my Facebook page, Glenn Butcher MP, who are totally off-grid in their steel fabricating of large-scale projects now for the mining industry, still supporting that industry. And we also visited a business called EcoJewel and Antio Tech, who are both on the cutting edge of battery innovation here in Queensland. So there's certainly no doubt that to build the power grid of the future requires unprecedented sovereign capability in strategic mineral production, our rare earth minerals, and our renewable power technology, and certainly that production. But certainly what I've seen over the last month and in my time as the Minister for Manufacturing, and with our government's commitment, Queensland certainly has the capability and the capacity to be a leader in energy, storage and manufacturing. So I'd just like to once again thank the university for inviting me here this morning. And the professor obviously has been at Broncos training the last couple of days and shortened a few of the lads up there. But just on another one, a bit aside from this, but talking rugby league, it is good tongue-in-cheek, but for those that also have watched the Women's Rugby League here in Queensland and the National Rugby League Women's Competition, our department, along with our Women in Manufacturing strategy, have a partnership now with the Gold Coast Titans, who are also playing in a grand final next weekend as well. So these type of partnerships are really showcasing what we're doing in manufacturing here, particularly trying to get young women into the manufacturing sector. And I think from what I've seen, particularly in a few of our battery organisations here, the amount of young women that are involved, university degree, scientists, those type of industry jobs are a way of the future. And I really appreciate the support that we've got from the Gold Coast Titans, but also from the universities that are here supporting us. So thank you all so much for having me. I hope you have a great day. I'm sure that the panel will have some great discussions about what's going on in the state. But all I can say is keep on pushing forward. This is a new industry. It's collaborating with everyone, and today is designed just to do that. Have conversations that you probably haven't had before. Talk to people that you haven't seen or talked to before, and let's make sure that we are the world leader in battery advancement here right in Queensland. So thank you all.